sewing guru, and today I'm going to show you how to construct a pair of classic denim jeans. Now, what I'm going to do first of all is talk about the tools that you're going to need to produce your jeans. Okay, so I've got all my tools laid out, so let's get started. So, as you can see, there's actually quite a lot of things here that you're going to need to produce your jeans. So for example, we've got the overlock machine, we've got the sewing machine, we've got our cloth, we've got our threads, and there's different colours there to choose from for the top stitching. We've got a zip here, if you're going to produce a front fly zip. We have our rivets, we've got the buttons, we've got the denim foot, scissors, paper scissors, the needles. We have here a pair of pliers to set in the buttons and the rivets, and of course we have here our pattern. So the first thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover each thing apart from the machines in detail. So the first thing, what you're going to need is a commercial pattern. Now this pattern is just a standard commercial pattern bought from any regular haberdashery store. Okay, it's from a company called McCall's, and it's the Classic Fit range for the perfect jean. And of course we've got here the number of this pattern, which is M5894. Now, like I say, any pattern will do as long as it's a pattern for a pair of jeans, because this pattern can be manipulated to the size and the style that you want. Okay, and of course in the next video we're going to be showing you how to measure, and I will be able to show you how to manipulate this pattern to your measurements, and then you'll be able to go out and get the correct measurements or the correct pattern for your size. Okay, so that's the pattern, just a standard commercial pattern from any haberdashery store, but of course it's got to be a pair of classic denim jeans. Okay, so there's your pattern. So that's the first thing you're going to need. Now, the next thing, when of course you know the size of what you are, then you can manipulate how much fabric you're going to need. Then of course you're going to go and buy your denim. Now, as a rule, denim comes as 60 inches wide. Okay, because a lot of fabrics which come as 45 inches are usually your silks and very, very sort of floaty fabrics, whereas the more robust or thicker fabrics are always a 60-inch wide cloth. Okay, now I always go for about 2 meters, because what it does is it gives me enough fabric, and I've also got just that little bit spare as well, just in case I made a mistake, because let's face it, we all make mistakes. Okay, so I always go for around about 2 meters. So you need your classic cotton denim cloth. Okay, so I've got 2 meters of that. We have here also a zip. Now, of course, you're going to need, if you're going to be putting a fly front zip into your jeans instead of a button closure, of course you need to measure the length of the zip. So again, you're going to know that within your pattern, and then you can go out and buy your zip. And of course you need to buy the zip which corresponds colour wise to your denim. Okay, so I've got a dark blue zip because I'm going to be making dark blue denim jeans. Now that brings me on to threads. Now threads are very important because these are going to correspond to the colour of the top stitching that you're going to be doing on your jeans. Now, if you've noticed, jeans always have a different colour top stitching to the actual jean itself. Okay, now you can go for a brown, or you can go for a green if you're going to be a bit more sort of elaborate and fancy. You can go for a green top stitching, or you can go for a classic off-white top stitching as well. Okay, now they're all going to look really, really good as a top stitching, but of course you do need your classic colour which corresponds exactly to the colour of your jeans, because this is the colour that you're going to be overlocking the panels with. And of course you're going to need 3 of these because we're going to be doing a 3-thread chain combination stitch for the overlocking. So threads are a very, very important part of your denim jeans because of course you're going to see the top stitching on the outside. Okay, now I'll give you a little tip as well. What I always do is when I bought my denim cloth, and if I don't have my cloth with me, if I'm going another day to buy the threads, what I do is I cut out a small swatch of denim from here. It's not very big, just a small piece, and I take this with me, and then I can match up the colour of the thread which is going to suit best on my cloth. Okay, so it's just a little tip if you're going to buy your threads and your haberdashery after you've bought your cloth. Okay, so that's what I always do. So that's our threads. Now the next part, of course, you're going to need a pair of nice tailoring scissors to be able to cut your cloth. Okay, so you need a pair of those. You need a pair of paper scissors for your pattern. So you don't need to get these mixed up. Very important, you don't get the fabric scissors mixed up with your paper scissors, because if you use each for each, if for instance you're using your fabric scissors to cut out your pattern, you're going to blunt them, okay, and you don't want that. So you need to have two separate pairs of scissors to be able to cut the cloth and also your pattern. Now the next thing, I'll just put these scissors out of the way. The next thing what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at the buttons. Now these are your classic denim jeans buttons, okay? So you've got a top part, and we also have here a small bottom part, and they go through the denim cloth and they are positioned in place with a clamp. Okay, now if you don't have one of these clamps, what you can do is in the pack you get one of these and they can be hammered in place. Okay, so you know they're very, very easy to use. They just need hammering into place or pressing together. Two button gets pressed together through the cloth so that they are held together as a bottom and top button combination. Okay, but you'll see how I do that as we commence through the production of the jeans. Okay, so that's our buttons. Now I've also got here our rivets as well, and again they have a top and a bottom, and they're clamped through the cloth with the help of these special pliers. Okay, so these are our rivets, and these rivets always go around the pockets as a decorative feature. Now you will see that on a pair of jeans they always have the rivets around the jeans as a decorative feature, and also to give them stability when you put your hands in your pockets. So that brings us on to the next part. Just put these out of the way. Now I also have here two pairs of little scissors for cutting the threads, and I have two pairs because I always keep one near the ironing board, say if I'm cutting threads there, and I always keep one near the sewing machine when I'm cutting threads there, and I'm not getting up and going back and forth because I've left one pair near the sewing machine and I don't have another pair when I'm near the ironing board. So that's why I always have two pairs of thread cutting scissors. It's just easier and it's ideal and saves time as well. So two pairs of thread cutting scissors. Okay. I also have here a pack of sewing machine needles, and these are 100s. Now we need the 100 needles because they are thicker and a stronger needle, because our denim cloth is a thicker cloth. Okay, so you need your special denim needle, which is 100, because needles range from 70 all the way up to about 110, I think it is. So a needle which is 100, 110 is ideal for sewing denim, okay? And you can use that also for your top stitching as well. So you need your sewing machine needles. That brings us over to our special denim jeans foot, okay? Now this foot is specially designed for denim, and as you can see we have here a small hole on the foot where the needle will obviously go through, and instead of a zigzag foot where the sort of this whole part is a lot wider, because of course that's producing a zigzag stitch, which is the standard foot that you would have on your sewing machine at all times. This foot only has this small hole, and what it does is when the needle goes through the hole, it can't move, and it just prevents the needle from moving and also snapping, and it's a lot easier. So you need your special denim foot for producing your jeans. Now, if you don't have a denim foot, you'll be able to get one from your sewing machine dealer for the machine that you're using, okay? So because these feet are just a standard foot, sometimes you will get them with your sewing machine, but if you don't, just go to your dealer and ask for a denim jeans foot, okay? So that is the foot you need to produce your jeans. Now, that brings us over to the tape measure. Obviously you're going to need one of these to measure yourself and produce a pattern with. So I recommend a tape measure with centimetres and inches on each side. Okay, so you've got centimetres on one side, inches on the other. Okay, so you're going to need a tape measure, and of course the tape measure is ideal to use when you're doing your top stitching and when you're actually sewing the panels together, because you sometimes need to measure where panels are going to sit, or when you attach the pockets that they're going to sit equally on either side of the panels, like the left side and the right hand side of the back panels of the jeans when you put the pockets on. You're going to need a tape measure to be able to align these perfectly so that match on either side. Okay, now again, I always have two sets of tape measures, very much for the same reason, for the scissors, okay, for cutting my threads. So we've got one near the ironing board and also one near the sewing machine. And again, it's great because you don't need to get up when you've forgotten one tape measure and you've left it near the ironing board when you're sewing. So, you know, just get yourself two pairs of tape measures, because it's just quicker and it's just ideal, okay? And then you will not be frustrated when you do have to get up and you know, go from the sewing machine to the ironing board, because you know that you've got your tape measure there. And believe you me, if you do have only one set of a tape measure, this will happen, because it used to happen to me all of the time and it was so frustrating, you know. So get yourself two pairs of tape measures, okay? And finally, you're going to need a whole load of pins, okay, because we're going to be pinning the panels together, and pins are very important. We're also going to be using the pins to attach our pockets ready to be sewn on, and they're absolutely ideal. So you really need your pins, okay? So I think that's about it really. We've got all of our things together. It does seem like a lot of things to produce a pair of jeans, but in actual fact it's not. You know, it's just the tools that you need, like the buttons and the rivets. Pins you should already have, scissors you'll probably already have, tape measures I would imagine that you already have. But really all you need to do is go out, buy your fabric, buy your thread colours. If you haven't got a jeans foot, get yourself a jeans foot, and of course you need the pattern. Okay, so that's what you need. So when you've got all of your things and all of your tools ready to produce your denim jeans, you're then ready to go on to the next video, which is going to be measuring yourself, and I will see you there.